Hey, it's Nick Jonas. Thanks everyone who's sending questions to my Saturday night online Ask Anything chat. Big thanks to Romeo, my boy, always showing love. Appreciate it. Let's get to the questions now. Emma from New York said, "What is your life motto?" My life motto is probably live like at the bottom, eating at the top. My dad told my brothers and I that a long time ago, and it stuck with us. Just about staying humble and treating everybody with respect. Rasheem from Boston says, "Name an album you were obsessed with listening to while growing up." Shania Twain Greatest Hits. Big Shania Twain fan. My first crush and the first album that I listened to on repeat. Gracie from Baldwinsville. What's the one country that you haven't been to that you want to go to? I haven't been to Japan. I'd love to go there, see the fans there, get to see some of the amazing places. And I have a very close friend that lives there, so I'd get to see them as well, which would be nice. Patricia from Santo Domingo says, "Can you explain the meaning of your tattoo? God is greater than the highs and lows." That is the meaning. The tattoo itself is a bunch of arrows, basically, that symbolize that, with one of the arrows turned into a G at the beginning to make it all make sense. Larissa from Bayonne, Jersey, represent. She says, "What's your most embarrassing moment that you'll never forget?" I think I try to live my life in a way where I don't get embarrassed. Everything that happens that can be embarrassing, you have to view as a great story, because you'll be able to laugh about it someday. But I was actually talking to Zendaya one time at an award show, and in the middle of talking to her, I was chewing a piece of gum and it just fell out of my mouth onto her shoe. That was pretty embarrassing. She was cool about it, but it was not a great moment. Maria from Queens says, "I go to Staples a lot. I see your picture there for the Think It Up campaign. Can you tell us how that came about?" Well, they approached me about being involved in this and shared the whole message with me, and I was thrilled to be a part of it. Anytime we can empower people in education, it's a beautiful thing, and the work they're doing is amazing, and it's been a really good partnership so far. Brooklyn from Grayson says, "What is something that's completely out of your comfort zone that you've always wanted to do?" Skydiving. I don't know that I'd want to do it, but it's totally outside my comfort zone. I think if I went with the right people and had a good time doing it in the right training, so I felt like I knew what I was doing, then I'd have fun with it. Natalie from Detroit says, "Can you give any details on who you'll be collaborating with in the near future?" Most of what I've done for the new record, at least, has just been me. I've really focused on just trying to dig deep with some storytelling in my music that I'm really connected to, and if collaborations come out of that with different people, that'd be great. But I think I just need to zone in on what I want to say first, and then open it up to collaborations. Joe from Andover says, "What type of music can we expect from you and Demi as a record label, and have you done any more songs together?" Demi and I are always writing music together, and that music will come out at some point, I'm sure. But as far as the music we're going to release on the label, it's going to start with she and I, and then eventually we'll lead it to working with other people and doing all that. But starting with her and I is the focus right now. Carla from San Francisco says, "What has been the most important moment in your life so far?" I don't know what the most important moment is. There's been a lot of really important moments, and different things from just my personal life and my growth as a person to career stuff, and I think things that stand out are in the career side of things, at least getting to perform at the White House a few times for a couple presidents has been really special, and being nominated for a Grammy was a highlight for me. Priscilla from Del Rio says, what can we expect from this tour, and will you have any special guests join you on some of the dates of the tour? I think the thing you can expect from a tour is the fact that we're really focused on creating a really intimate experience and building out the video packages for the show to really be connected to everything I'm saying and tell a great story and feel like a cohesive message and overall just a big concept and one of those things where I want this as my first tour to set the tempo for what the shows will be like in the future as well. And special guests, I think that again, this was really important as my first real headlining tour to make it about what I'm doing and focus on that and my connection with my fans first, and eventually, if it makes sense, maybe I'll have some friends come up and sing with me. Rachel from Chicago said, "What is the best advice anyone has ever given you and why?" I think it goes back to what I was saying before. My dad's advice is key, and then other advice in this last year and a half from people I really respect has just been to enjoy the ride, and know that a career is full of great moments and tougher moments, and it's about riding the wave and finding the good in everything, or trying to. Michael from Charlotte, what inspired the song Levels? Well, I was... Edit that, right? Michael from Charlotte said, what inspired the song Levels? Levels came after I played a bunch of the music I'd been writing for some friends, songwriting friends, and they were like, look, we have this song that might make perfect sense with where you're going, and they played me Levels, and immediately I was connected to the message of it, but also felt like vocally it was something I could really dive into and make my own, so that's where that came from. Lily from Brazil says, can you cook? If so, what's your specialty? I can't cook. I'm not very good at that at all, but I can make a good sandwich and a great bowl of cereal. Patricia from Toronto says, do you ever get nervous before performing on stage? Not really anymore. I don't get nervous. I get anxious to get out there and do it. There's a lot of waiting around before you go on stage. So I'm always just ready to go. Megan from Phoenix, your birthday's coming up. Do you have any plans yet? I will be shooting something. I can't say what, but I'll be shooting something the day of my birthday. And I will be doing that. So that's my big plan. But just a couple days after is the iHeartRadio Festival, so I'll be there celebrating, I'm sure, in Vegas and hanging out with friends and getting to play music for my fans. Bianca from San Diego, what are you most excited about this year so far as music goes? I think getting Levels out there, there's more music that I'm excited to release, and just being in front of my fans again, getting to play these shows and feed off that energy every night. It's so inspiring. Christy from Vancouver, describe your life right now in 3 words. Ooh, 3 words, that's tough. I would say I feel very free, and free is 1 word, and then creative and happy. I'm very happy at this moment. Liza from Northern Ireland says, do you set a certain time for you to sit and write songs, or is it more of a spur of the moment thing? It really depends. You know, there are times where there's a session set up to write a song with people, and you kind of have to go about it that way. But there are other times where it just flows out of a natural thing, which is great. And both are really special, and I'm thankful I have that creative outlet, for sure. Elizabeth from Duluth says, what is your favorite song on your current album? It changes all the time, especially when I start playing the songs live. You see what really works at the shows, and it's a cool thing to feed off that. But I think Santa Barbara is one of my favorites. Another song called Push I really love from the album. Travis from Des Moines says, who makes the call when the tour bus pulls over for food or to load up on supplies? Do they have to get your approval? No, it's not like that at all. If someone wants to stop, we stop. But, for me, I feel like the great thing is when you can ask the venue to get the food so that you can just go right to bed on the bus. That's my favorite thing in the world. Colin from Aberdeen asks, what gets you motivated at the gym? Great music. A good playlist at the gym is key. For me, it's a lot of Kanye, Jay-Z. Chloe from Montera says, how would you describe your music for someone who's never heard it before? I would say describe it as like soul, R&B, pop. I try to keep it in the kind of classic vibe, but with some new modern statements as well. Sandy from Somerville asks, if you had to be stuck in a room with anyone from the past or present, who would you choose? That's tough. I think I find politicians to be really interesting to talk to. So, Abraham Lincoln would have been an interesting person to talk to. Nelson Mandela. Let's see. Marissa from Fremont. What can fans expect from season 2 of Kingdom? Expect the unexpected. A lot of stuff happens in this next season. I'm really excited for people to see it. I think it's going to surprise them in a lot of ways. The path that my character takes specifically. It was kind of set up last year for one thing, but I think it's going to go in a lot of different directions. So make sure you watch when the season premieres on October 14th. Sam from London. You prefer Snapchat, Twitter, or Instagram? I like it all. I'm really getting into Snapchat. I think it's kind of fun, but I also love Twitter and Instagram. And it's kind of an easy way to keep up with your friends, when you're traveling and all that. You can kind of catch up via Instagram or Twitter or Snapchat. Natalie from Port Chester. If you could collaborate with any artist from a different genre, who would it be? I would love to work with Kanye at some point in time. I think he's incredible, and that we would do something really great together. Kaylee from Denver. So what is your favorite thing about going on tour? My favorite thing about going on tour is getting to be in front of the fans every night, and you work hard in the studio and promoting the music, and then to actually get to live it in real time with the fans there, feeding off that energy and learning something different about yourself as a performer every night, but also about your fans is a really incredible thing. Elizabeth from Longview, what's your favorite food of all time? I'm a pizza guy. I love pizza, and I don't eat a lot of it because I have to train for Kingdom. I have to be in fighting shape, but when I do get to veg out and do whatever I want food-wise, it's pizza. But that's it. That's the last of the questions. Thank you all so much for submitting your questions, for being so supportive of me and my next steps. Romeo, you're the man, and it's been real. It's been very real. See y'all.